Good evening, folks. How we doing tonight? Some of you, I'm sure, are still watching Dave's closing video, but decided to get the ball rolling and hop in and be ready with bells on if any of you folks show up. That Eric guy was very interesting. I was I didn't want to bring down the house, but I can't help but wonder. I wonder how many times over 30 years he got mugged. I'm sure it happened. Even a big guy like him. Lance, how could you not be number one? Lance Chafin in the house says, "Hey, you Thrash," and hey to you too, Lance. Great to see you. Let's see who number two is. Well, I'm sure they'll get here in due course. Oh, Georgia Erez. How we doing? Ooh, they're pouring in. Let's see. Ron Unprepared says, "Hola." Hello to you too, Ron Unprepared. Welcome to the chat. Keithy says, "Okay, I'm here. I just put the hippopotamus to bed if you want to stay up." And I said no. John Collins says that live stream was so much fun. It certainly was. And congrats on winning the Remind. Tug says, already started. Just, and only just. I ducked out of that last video Dave was showing so I could set up house, and I'm glad you all make that. And I'm assuming, Keith, it was Siri behind that the hippopotamus asked to stay up late, and you said no. Wajamin says, hello, everyone, and hello to you. Lance Chafin says, hit that like button, what he said. Mr. Led says, hi, Thrash. Mr. Led, always great to see you. I'm still watching for the gift you sent me. I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully I'll get it very, 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 very soon. Ron Unprepared says, beat you, Tug. Now, Raw, your real name is Joe, I want to say? Because for some reason I have that song, Uncle Joe. You know Uncle Joe. He was the one afraid to cut the cake, associated with your name. If I get it wrong, bear with me. I'm terrible with names and faces, so names and emojis even more so. Lynn Chafin says, no, Julie, okay. If she follows us here, I'll be really surprised. But I know these things take time to heal, Lance. Tug said you did, Joe. Okay, that gives the game away. Yes, you are Joe. Speaking of which, the Republic says, let the games begin. We who are about to die salute you. And to you too, Tug. Mr. Lid says should arrive tomorrow, as will Friday. Someday we'll never be the same. Yes, and Ron Unprepared said yes, Joe or Raw, whatever. I'll go back and forth. Sometimes I call Tug Tug, sometimes I call him Unapologetic Geek. It goes without saying. Groovy Highway says, where's the keg? Groovy Highway, thank you for joining us. Unfortunately for tonight, I'm on the wagon and I am drinking non-alcoholic red sangria, so Santa Sangre. But welcome to the party. I guess today it's BYOK, bring your own keg. Duskimp says, hey, Thrashpondo Pawns. Scott, so good to see you. Welcome to the party. Zublick says, Captain Kirk versus Spock. I will bet on Spock any day of the week. Of all the souls I've ever known, his was the most human. Liz Chafin says, Thrash and I have the same shirt on. Wow. Oh, this is my lucky transmittance shirt. Tab is in the house. Hello, Thrash. What do you think of the Netflix premiere of that 90s show, the continuation of that 70s show? I haven't seen it. My granddaughter has become obsessed with that 70s show. I believe she watched it. Love the fact that they got Ashton Kutcher and Mia Kunis to make a cameo. But again, haven't seen it. I've been too busy trying to stay on top of The Last of Us. More about that later. Groovy Highway says, I got stuff. Well, if you want to imbibe, go ahead. I'll put up a few beers tonight, but never while on tomorrow night, but never while on duty. Scott says, I have to watch the last episode of Wednesday with the family, but we'll be back after the episode. With any luck at all, we'll still be here, God willing. Peace and chicken grease. Elzerblick says that was when Spock was in heat. Ah, yes, the Palm Far. And Scott says always Spock. And enjoy the last episode of Wednesday. Do not tell me how it ends. I still got a couple episodes to go. Looks says the best era of TV. It's not this one, that's for sure. Gary Carpenter says, I'm here. Gary, so great to see you. Scott says, oh, and click the like button, what he said. Tug says, I gotta get merch just so I can make Thrash wear it. Please, please do, please do. T-shirts preferably. I mean, I could always do them on the coffee mug, but the cabinets are starting to give under the weight of them all. And the last thing I need is more caffeine. So shirts or hats. I would love another ball cap. Hello, Emily Miller says peekaboo. Emily Miller, hi, how you doing? Oh, I sent you a birthday well wish. Not sure if you got it or not, but anyway, it's very nice to see you, and happy birthday, belated Miss M. Tug says I finally watched The Last of Us today. I was impressed. I really enjoyed it, and if any of you out there have read Brian Aldiss, I have a couple of crossovers. Actually, I saw a lot of crossovers with a lot of vintage sci-fi, but I want to wait till more people watch it, and then we will talk about that at a later time. Unless, Tug, you want to weigh in. I'm always interested in what you have to say. Lance Giffen says, Tug, I will wear it too. That's very nice of you, Lance. Zublik says, do you remember the chick who was selected for Spock? Yes, yes. What was her name? Beautiful, beautiful woman. She played Tiger, a underground operative in Hogan's Heroes. Darrell Johnson, my other brother Darrell, says, Bob! Darrell. Music Girl 67 says, hello there, Thrash, and good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing fantastic on this Thursday evening, and so glad I am able to join the after party tonight. So glad to have you. Daily Dan, the good stuff with the big eyes. Yeah, big eyes, big eyes, big eyes. So good to see you all the night. Has 1,000 eyes and 1,000 eyes. Can't help but get monetized. And he has a wall of comics that I am like green with envy over. He showed it again today on one of his shorts. You gotta check out his stuff, all of his channels. But I love that comic wall. Mr. Lynn says that 70s show was so close to me and my buddies growing up. It was scary. I was a little bit younger. I was like, at that time, I was like 10 or 11. John Doe, Neutron John says, just got here. Let the fun times begin. Please. John, it's always nice having you here with us. And I'm going to try not to jump. A lot of us are having fellowship, but I'm going to try to, yeah. Zublik says those Vulcans were supposedly so logical, but they still practiced arranged marriages. Why not? Tug says, Linz, and all the seriousness, that's awesome. Oh, Bobby Renee is here. Says, thanks, Music Girl. Bobby Renee, good to see you. I'm going to need your full name, because you mentioned that once before. Tom Hungry Jerk says, hey. I'm not sure if that's from Val Albert or from What's Happening, but either way, you are more than welcome. Tracy Ross Myers in the house, and she says, message retracted. Message retracted to you too, Tracy. So good to see you. She's a high lead. That one wasn't retracted. A lot of people getting those group hellos out of the way. That's always a good. That's how I was doing it earlier. If I skipped any of you, please forgive me. We had so many hellos that sometimes it clogs the chat. But anyway, so if I missed anyone in the last chat, hello, of course. Tom says, thanks, everyone. Oh, Emily says, yeah, I get anxiety about responding to birthday messages. 1,000 apologies, miss. I just didn't want you to think I forgot about you. Oh, I just saw it. Tom says, Arlene Martell met her. Arlene Martell, yes, and she was a very beautiful woman. Zerblick says ta 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 shaboom shaboom rata da 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 shaboom shaboom rata da 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 da. Tracy says hi Robert and hi to you too. Gary Cabinet says love at first bite. We were just talking about that, weren't we? And I can't remember why. On Ian's show, yeah, we were talking about early Jim Carrey movies. John Doe says there's a roller coaster here in New York City called the Cyclone. It's the world famous and it bugs me because I don't know why. Well, anything can be world famous. All you have to do is have people from other parts of the world know about it. Hence the world fame. Gary Carpenter says, R.I.P. Dave Crosby. Yes, let's take a moment. Rest in peace, Mr. Crosby. Retro Serial says, yes, Daryl. Retro Serial, Ian, so nice to have you with us tonight. Zublik says, and what the hell did they call that funny Vulcan sword? The, I can't think off the top of my head, but there was a name for it. The Shrupa, the Shupara, the Sherpa. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go along. When in doubt, lie. Look how far it's gotten me. Daily Den says you should see the 10K comic books in the boxes I haven't got to. Dibs. Emily says he's sneaky like that, Darrell. We're all sneaky on this channel. We're sneaky like two great sneaky things. Tug says John Doe, I think it's just an iconic landmark. I always think of the beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which, as we all know, was the precursor to Godzilla, loosely based on what Ray Bradbury's short story? Too Late, The Foghorn. Big Guys 45 says, I'm here, big guy. It's not an after party without you. Thank goodness you are here. You are always welcome, my friend. Daryl Johnson says, Ian, there you are. Ha, did you hit the like button? What he said. John Doe says, arranged marriages has a higher success rate, by the way. You know, I don't know where I read that, but I read that. You want to know why? And I'm not knocking how non-arranged marriages do things. God knows I love my wife. But when we pick our own spouse, we tend to think with our heart and not with our head. When people arrange marriages, they say, let me pick out someone who'd be perfect for you. They're a little more objective than we are. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know why they work better, but yes, for some reason, arranged marriages have a slightly better success rate than non-arranged marriages. At least that's what I heard somewhere, and I'm going to stand by that. I am unanimous in that. Big Guys 45 says my channel is dead now. Oh, dude. No. Maybe I'll retry something or posting in a month. No. Don't give up. Come on, please. Don't. If I haven't given up, you can't give it up. You've always been the strong one. Don't give up on your channel. We all get discouraged. I know. And I know you've had it particularly tough. But it's going to work out. I promise you. Okay? I promise you. Stick with Bob. He'll always take care of you. Tug says, I have one comic book and it's in German. Oh, ausgezeichnet. Up so. The music girl says, hey, big guy, happy Thursday. Wajibin says, BRB. Gary Cameron says, DJ, that's my favorite movie. And it predates Godzilla. Yes, it was the movie that inspired Godzilla. It's actually kind of funny. I actually mentioned that in those notes I was taking about how Godzilla was a ripoff of Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. But then the English ripped off Godzilla when they made Gorgo. But then the Japanese ripped off Gorgo when they made Gappa. And so on and so on. And so I could do a whole show on that. In fact, I think I might. The one they really get the most mileage out of, and Tug, I'm sure you've heard this anecdote. Initially, the sequel to King Kong was supposed to be King Kong, or a sequel was supposed to be King Kong versus Frankenstein. King Kong meets Frankenstein's monster, which has been artificially increased in size to be comparable with King Kong, and they tear up New York. It was never made. But the Japanese bought the rights to it just so they could make King Kong versus Godzilla, which also gave them Frankenstein Conquers the World, which also gave them the Attack of the Gargantuas. So they got so much mileage out of that concept. It was probably the best money Toho ever spent. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, what animated TV show premiered in 1997 do you really love the most? South Park, Daria, King of the Hill, Reese's, Pepper Ann, The Angry Beavers, Johnny Bravo, or Cow and Chicken. Going on an animated theme like that, there were a lot of good ones. I didn't watch them all. I don't remember Recess or Pepper Ann. I watched Angry Beavers and Johnny Bravo on occasion. Was good, but it never really sunk its claws in me. I don't recall Cow and Chicken. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember any specific episodes. So I would have to say South Park, Daria, and King of the Hill all worked for me because I remember those. I remember enjoying them at the time. You guys fill in your answers in due course. A lot of people having fellowship. Gary Carpenter says Clue. Are you giving me a clue as to what your favorite movie is, or is your favorite movie Clue and which ending? Or did you want a clue as to? Well, we did. If you wanted the clue on the story that Beast from 20,000 fathoms, if it kills me to say that properly, was based on It's the Foghorn by Ray Bradbury. Tug says, I'm sorry to hear that, big guy. Did you get discouraged? Oh yeah, I already Tom said Arlie Martell. Emily Miller says Daria and Johnny Bravo were freaking awesome. Yes, they were. Retro and Zuperlik says the Sabor 2000. The sword that Spock had? That didn't sound right. Dilly Dim the Good Stuff says Once Bitten is the one with that goof Carrie Love at First Bite is the 70s spoof movie of Dracula. Very funny. Yeah, Once Bitten is, I want to say, from the mid-late 80s, and that's with Jim Carrey and I think Catherine Deneuve. But there is another Dracula spoof as well. But that's so there's actually a couple spoofs of Dracula. Darrell Johnson says, hit that like button. Do it now. Groovy Highway says, two different Hays. Fat Albert. And what's happening? Hey, hey, hey. And I'm sure I butchered both of them, but I work with what I got. Tom says, the Lurpa, not the Sherpa, the Lurpa. Do I get partial credit because I get 2 out of 3 of the phonic elements right? Retro Serial says, the sward. Thrash was talking about, the wind has left my bar indeed. Blown my bonnet off my head. But something's hid in Highland Bray. The wind's not blowing my sword away. Sorry. Tug says the Foghorn. Yes, in case you haven't gotten it yet, Foghorn is the basis of the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. In fact, they even have a scene in it where it trashes the lighthouse, which is the whole premise of the Foghorn. Tracy Rosmeyer says, have a good night, everyone. Tracy, I'm so glad. I understand you're probably exhausted at this point. You have to get up early. It means a lot to me that you stayed up to make an appearance at my after party. Thank you very, very, very much. Tug says, you didn't even give me a chance, Thrash. Well, I knew you'd know it. You know, that'd be like asking Dave, a character from the Andy Griffith Show. You know, of course he's going to know. Zublik says, you gotta give it to Captain Kirk. He knew he couldn't defeat Spock, but he fought him to save him. They fought a couple of times. They actually, now that you mentioned that, they fought the Planet of the Lotus, where Kirk figures out that angry emotions kill the Lotus spores, so he ticks Spock off in a barrage of politically incorrect anti-Vulcan sentiment, and Spock almost kills him. Garrett Carpenter says, Foghorn, I've heard of it. Big Guys 45 says, I'm on the way to 1,000K. Yet I'm not getting there due to the glitch still. And I can't tell you how sympathetic we are, man. But please try not to let it get you down. I'm shaking my computer. I'm shaking my whole table. Um, Trust me on this one. Uh, Try to stick it out. That's all I can ask is just try to stick it out. Things will get better, I promise. Let's just see. A lot of people having fellowship. The anime artist said something which was deleted. Okay. I'm sure that was perfectly valid. It looks like he did it again, anime artist. Mind your manners or you're bye-bye. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. Gary Carter says, where can I find a copy of the Foghorn? Years ago, it's a short story. It's very concise. I found a copy on YouTube. You could actually start there. You might even find an audiobook. In fact, I think, and I might have dreamt this, but I think there's a version where it's actually read by Ray Bradbury. John H. Hey, says, hey, Thrash and all. And hey to you. Welcome to the party. Let's see what else we got going on here. Skipping to Tom says, I wish I had I wish I hadn't jumped off the page. I'll find you. Stay with me. Nope, that's not it. Holy, I didn't realize how far behind I was. Holy, I'm way behind. Well, I'm gonna try to catch up. Oh, Tom says, I wish I had an arranged marriage to Christy Yamaguchi. I'm gonna skip way down because I'm gonna try to catch up. I'm gonna go through Sean Innes. Says something in German, which is the equivalent of outstanding. Ausgezeichnet. Up so, I'm betrunken so that. Let's see. Anime artist won't mind his manners. Apparently. Skipping down, a lot of people having fellowship, saying goodnight. Emily Melissa Tracy, I thought maybe you had the hours of morning news anchors. Those people get up way too damn early. They certainly do. John Doe says, Thrash, you said you'd been to Coney Island. Have any plans to go back? I've been to Coney Island since my dad took me in the early 70s. I'd love to go back, but I never get to the city anymore, I'm afraid. Gary Cameron says, Ebria, Horror of the Deep. Well, that's the one that looks like the big crayfish, right? Sean Innes says, Gargantuan was a very good monster movie. Georgia Innes says, wasn't all of the M. Wasn't all of the M. Well, it probably went on to N or P. Tom says, Sean, just watched War of the Gargantuas. Good movie. It's one of the few Toho movies that actually makes reference to World War II when there were lines with Germany. Skipping down because I'm way behind. And here's some people that I was gonna say because I know there's people here I haven't said hi to who are probably here for a limited time. Pat from the Golden Reach says, "Thank you, Thrash, for supporting the brand. YouTube has turned into crap." There's a lot of that going around. I'm afraid there's a lot of people discouraged, Pat. So you're in good company. I'm very sorry for your discouragement. I am going to nothing but podcast interviews with classic TV celebs. You get a lot of great mileage out of those. Tug says, Hungry Jerk, I think it was in the qualifiers for the 92 Olympics. My mother was obsessed with figure skating and watched everything. Chris Yamaguchi, I think you're right there. Skipping down. Pat says this man's the best. Sean Innes says, at 2. Hungry, you just saw it. I haven't seen it for decades. I loved it as a kid. I also watched all the other Japanese monster movies. Emily Miller says, I need one of those shirts, Pat. How many monies are they? Lance Javen says, once bitten was Lorraine Hutton. Thank you. Gary Carpenter says, King Kong escapes. Ah, yes, with Doctor Who. Daryl Jones says, 25 watching, only 18 likes. That's sad. Hit the like button. Uh, and Lewis says, Lance, I wouldn't be so bold to ask for one as a gift. Tom says, Pat, charge me $50 for my shirt. LOL. Tug says, I did a video on King Kong Escapes. I love Mecha Kong. Sean Innes says, Lorraine Hutton was the love interest in American Gigolo, wasn't she? I didn't know that. Teb says, I remember when CBS and ABC tried to jump on the adult animation bandwagon in the early 90s with 3 shows: Capital Critters, Fish Police, Family Dog, to cash in on the Simpsons' success, all failed miserably. I vaguely remember those myself, actually. Tom says, I met Linda Miller from King Kong Escapes last year. Wow, excellent. John Doe says Mecha Kong versus Mecha Godzilla. This is right next to the dog-faced boy. Spock loses it. Lance Stevens says, Emily, sorry, hope you can get one at a good price. Gary Carpenter says, The Trouble with Tribbles, my favorite episode. Retro Nerd Girl is in the house. Hello, RNG says, hey, Thrashpondo and everyone in the chat. Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Daryl Jones says, okay, anime artists, you are spamming your own channel. You need to stop now. Not sure what was said, but I think timing him out in this case might have been the right decision. I don't know what was said. Don't want people to repeat it. I'll leave it to your insight, discretion, shall we say. So, yes, anime artists, please be nice. Mandy Lee B says, hello, everyone. Mandy's so nice to have you with us. Bobby Renee says, hi, Nerd Girl. And, yes, a lot of people saying hi to Nerd Girl, as we all are very pleased to have you with us. Number one dude says, at Retro Nerd, Retro Serial ENC, where you at? I believe he's in Tennessee, and I'm still where I always am. And it's so nice to have you here with us tonight, number one dude. Bobby Renee says hi to Mandy. Lance Chafin says hi, Nerd Girl. Loved the stream for 7 hours. I still can't get over that. I am still absolutely amazed. It was like 7.5 hours, like, after like an hour and a half, my spine starts to fall asleep. So I honestly don't know how you did it. Oh, and by the way, for people who don't know, she has a watch along planned for Saturday night from 5 Eastern Standard Time to, I'm guessing, like 8 o'clock for Excalibur. How do you plan that without it getting pulled? I mean, that is super duper copywritten. I mean, poor Tug had Santa Claus Comes to the Martians pulled. But if you're still on, count me in. Richard Serial says I'm in Nashville. That's in Tennessee, yes. Let's see. Ooh, I just jumped again. I'm gonna try to go back. Oh, here we are. I think. Well, yeah, a lot of people haven't. Oh, Forms Content in the house says hello. Hello to you, Forms Content. I'm skipping. I'm gonna have to skip through a lot of these because a lot of people are just chatting amongst themselves, which is fine. But I'm gonna try to catch up to the thread of the conversation. If I miss any of you, please bear with me. And please say again if I missed what it was you said. But I'm gonna have to try to. Yeah. Oh, Barry's in the house. Beaky on the air. T Pawns, my retro pal. So good to see you. Emily says, "Leave anime alone." Did anime? I'm a little confused. Did anime say something inappropriate, or because a lot of people seem to be thinking that it was inappropriate? I'm confused. But anyway, we're gonna move forward. Dilly Dan the Good Stuff says, Lance, you like being a mod. Um, it would seem. Dilly Dan goes on to say, don't hide people, Lance. Groovy Highway says, wrench police. Music Girl just said, I just watched The Black Phone early this morning. I thought it was great. Loved the 70s feel to it. And brother and sister both acted phenomenal. Oh, okay. And Linda says, Lance, he apologized. Okay, so here's the situation. Lance, I appreciate your stick-to-itiveness, but again, if anime has apologized and wants to make nice comments, please let's let him back in. Because, like I say, I didn't even see what was said in the first place. But again, my mods, I appreciate you guys. Remember when we used to have the bots all the time, like all the time? And it was like really crazy, and they would come in and say terrible, hateful things. And that's why I created so many mods. But if people, well, we don't want to go overboard in blocking people. This should be a free forum where people can say what they feel. The anime artist says, I love the video on Blitzkrieg. The comic book? Okay, there you see. Actually, I just did. I did one on one episode of Blitzkrieg a while back, and I recently did another one. Well, it was part of a smattering of various comics that I was spotlighting. It was just a little test on this new computer that I recently got and I've been messing around with. So I'd like to do another one on Blitzkrieg if you like that one. Let's see what else we got down here. Groovy Highway says resume party, or is it resume party? Mandy says Thrashpondo, you are our leader. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try to be a benevolent one. Daily Dead's Good Stuff says, LOL, play nice children. Yes, I think he said it best there. I think he said it best. Bobby Renee says, all the fire and the smoke, we will never give up hope. With music quotes. So I'm guessing that's from a song. Don't picture the song, but I like the sentiment. So, yes, keep calm and carry on. Let's just see. Anamara says yes. So apparently that was the right one. So yes, I will do another one of my wretched recaps on a Blitzkrieg comic. I won't tell you which one. I'll pick one out, whichever one I feel is most conducive. The Bat Channel says, what up, everyone? Bat Channel, welcome to the party. Thank you. Tug says, like so many other Westerners, I think Akira was my entry point in anime. Probably, although I started when I was a little kid with like things like Speed Racer and Gigantor and that type of thing. Number one dude says, Thrash started watching the original Blade Runner. Do you recommend? I love the original Blade Runner. Try to get the one without the voiceovers, though. They don't really add anything to it. It kind of, I find it distracting. Oh, Minnie says, that's sweet, Bobby. You're very welcome. Thank you. Tug says Berserk and GITS are my favorites. I remember Berserk. Not sure about Gits, but please enlighten. John Burnson says, I need a pizza puppy. I want to try that, actually. I actually want to try that. That sounds delicious. Uh, Tom says Sailor Moon showed nudity and had transgender people in the Japanese version. That I didn't know. I do know that in Battle of the Planets, I believe Zoltar, the bad guy, I believe he was transgender. I heard that somewhere, but I didn't know about Sailor Moon. Bobby E says, bet up is an Indian state and the opposite of down. Okay. That channel goes retro. Yes, we are very retro here. Emily Wilson, Shadow the Bat sounds interesting. Joel Jones says, hey, Bat. Tug says something because I just jumped again. You guys are like so interactive, and I'm so proud of you all. Tug says Gigantor LOL. That counts as anime. Griffith Highway says, has anyone tried Wings, the TV show or the finger food? Yes, on both. Mandy says Blade Runner a must. Definitely, definitely. Emily says hungry, trans or just in drag. There is a distinction. No more dude says Mandy LB. Thanks, so far so good. Not even halfway yet. Whatever the thing you're persevering in, we wish you all the luck with that. Tug says, are they hot wings, barbecue, or parmesan garlic? Lemon garlic are my favorites. Oh, and Tom says, trans, specifically trans family. Shannon says, Gigantor and Speed Racer were pretty great as a kid. Gigantor and Space Age Robot. Gigantor is a space age robot. He's at your command. Tug says, Ghost in the Shell. Love Ghost in the Shell. Musical says, hey, Thrash, on that 50 movie set you were gifted, you mentioned the film Moon of the Wolf. Do you know if that is the one with David Jansen? If so, it's a great 1972 TV movie. I'm not 100%. Is Peter Graves in that as well? I think I've seen it. Zublik says, you mean you never heard of Astro Boy, T-Pons? Of course I've heard of Astro Boy. Tetsuya Adam, of course I've heard of that one. I keep jumping. Oh, here we go. Gary Carver says, Land of the Giants. Love that. Irwin Allen TV show, if I believe, remember correctly. Wajimine says, not at all, Lance. Yeah, he's right. Not at all, Lance. Tug says, nah, Lance, it's all good. Number one dude says, Lance, you are the best wrench, Lance. You are the bot killer. We can't get angry at you for being vigilant. Keithy says, if I got blocked, it would help my street credibility for just being too nice. That's a way of looking at it. That is a way of looking at it. Liz Giffen says, thank you guys. You're the best. Diligent says, nope, not me. I don't get mad if I can help it. I can't picture you mad, period. I don't know why I can't get mad. John Dose's Astroland is gone. They put in the screen zone and expanded Coney Island by 50 acres. You're kidding. Emily says, I just like all wings. Fair enough. Music Girl 67 says, Lance, you are the best moderator because you're always here in the live chats participating. Oops. And Liz Chapin says, Tug, when is the next live stream? I believe it's Sunday, isn't it? It's this coming Sunday. Keep me posted. Daryl Jones says, time for some I, Ron Butterfly. Oh, Evelyn says, ooh, when I get mad at someone, something bad happens to them. Point taken. Doug says, funny you should ask. Sunday at 11 Eastern? I'm so glad you mentioned it. I thought it was 1. Imagine my embarrassment. 11 Eastern. Yes, with Thrash. You said there might be some other people joining us. Has that come to fruition? Mandy says, oh, Emily, we're good, right? Daily Dan says, I don't like wings. I'm a big guy, 6'4", 270 pounds. Not enough meat on them bones. I get boneless wings and eat them by the tray. Gary Cameron says, I've got to try and play Pac-Man again. I know I'm rusty. I have one of the little handheld ones. It comes back to you in no time whatsoever. John Doe says, Moon of the Wolf is from 1972. I have the same set. No kidding. No, that's how you knew the content as well as you did. Doug says, I think Em might have some bodies in her backyard, lol. Let's not go that far. Shotnana says, Thrashpondo Bonds, did you see my comment about the anime movie Demon City? They do a sequence that copies the head sprouting spider legs from John Carpenter's The Thing. I did not see it. I'm sorry. That must have been when I was trying to catch back up. My futile attempt to catch back up. I did not see it, but that's a great sounding scene. I do have some anime. I don't have Demon City though. Let's just see. Tug says, I think we're gonna talk about Jurassic Park and Star Trek. I could do that all day. Music Girl says, no, he's not on Moon of the Wolf, but you might recognize Barbara Rush and Jeffrey Lewis. I would recognize them. Oh, Bobby Renee said something, but I just jumped off the page again. Well, I can't blame you guys for being interactive. Bobby Renee says Cry of the Wolf is on YouTube. A lot of them are actually on YouTube. Oh, but it's Moon of the Wolf, not Cry of the Moon of the Wolf. Distinction. Gary Gabriel says the Space Giants. John Bernstein. How you doing, John? John Bernstein says the only place you can have a pizza puppy is Costco. You order a slice of cheese pizza and a hot dog, sans the bun. They place the hot dog in the slice of pizza and wrap it up. What, no pepperoni? Well, I'll do without pepperoni. Dan says, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. What show is that from? I think we'll all get it. Bobby Renee says, Mandy, you're the moon I held to. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Teb says, I remember when Valerie became Valerie's family and eventually the Hogan family, after Valerie Harper was fired because the producers refused to give her a huge raise and chose to kill off her character. I remember that too. The gall. Mandy says, Thrashpondo, what shoes do you have on? They're actually, at this point, they're slippers, but they're big shoes to fill. I have a really big shoe. Sorry. A number one dude says, Daily Dan's the good stuff. David Banner, is it? I'm sending a David Bannergram. And Melissa says, Dan, do you turn green and throw furniture? Okay, yeah, you guys both got it. You got it. Doug says, oh no, wait, crap, it's 12 noon. Okay, so the show isn't at 1 and it's not at 11. It's at 12 noon. We'll split the difference. Keep me posted. But right now I'll plan on high noon. Uh, oh my gosh. Just, I skipped 1 second. Oh, yeah, here it is. Du-du-du-du-du. Tug says, I got my zones messed up again. It's 12 noon Eastern Standard, 11 Central. No harm, no foul. I'm glad it came up. I still would have been late. Uh, Zublik says, and I had to pick the worst day to quit Belladonna. I'm glad you quit at any rate. Tug says, and yes, my two buds at No Market Media are lined up as fellow guests. Wonderful. And Melinda says, Benadala, Bella, blah, blah, blah. Belladonna. It's pretty in the garden. Yes, as long as it stays there. Lance Javin says, Emily says, don't get me angry. You wouldn't like if she gets angry. Gary Cameron says, try and spell things correctly. Mandy says, oh no, Belladonna. Lady Belladonna. Children at you. Sorry. John Dose's big wrestling fan, been down yesterday because Jay Briscoe died in a car crash, but his wife and two daughters made it. I saw that somewhere. That's very sad. Tom says, just watch Danger Island, 2.5 hours long. Put all those shorts together was 2.5 hours? Wow, that's crazy. Let's just see. A lot of people talking about time zones. Music, movies, and more with Brian says, hello, Thrashpondo. Music, movies, and more with Brian. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who haven't, you probably saw him not too long ago. Dave was talking about him. He does some absolutely great stuff. He does a lot of like memorials, birthday wishes to celebrities who are alive, celebrities that we've lost over the years. Check out his channel. He's been putting out some great material. And thank you for joining us tonight. Tug says, I shouldn't start scheduling everything in GMT so nobody knows when anything starts. Tab says, didn't Everybody Loves Raymond become a huge hit after CBS moved the show off the Friday night death slot and put it on Monday nights before the end of its first season? Okay, got a quick question. I've noticed that Anime Artist is being blocked again by Lance Chaffin. Not sure what happened. I'm thinking maybe, and I'm just suggesting, Lance, perhaps we should let Anime Artist say what Anime Artist wants to say, and then if we determine that it's pushing the envelope, we can move forward from there. Just saying, we appreciate your vigilance, but it just seems like, well, I think perhaps maybe it might be better if we just see what's being said and then take it from there. Thank you. Tom says Monday Night Football killed San Pedro Beach Bums. Love that show. I don't recall that one. Retro No says, I always loved the end sequence of the Incredible Hulk TV show when David Banner hitches to the sad music. Gets me every time. I know. Let's just see. Oh, yeah. Emily's saying that she's on Twitter. And of course, a lot of us are on Facebook. So I missed it. Did Anime start up again and we finally just blocked him? I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm just trying to figure things out. If someone can let me know in the comments what exactly the situation is, I'd appreciate it because it's becoming a gray area, at least to me. And oh, well, Bobby says, Anime said let's spam his channel. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? And hmm, I don't know. Dan says the goof keeps using bad taste. Lance is in the right. Sorry, Lance. I reviewed the chat. Um. Okay, Lance. I wanna thank you for your vigilance. I just wasn't seeing what was going on, so I wasn't able to weigh in on it. Which again, I should say thank you for your vigilance. If you can keep these things, boom. But maybe we should ask the anime artist to leave it all together. What do you guys think? I leave it up to you. Um, you guys have been paying more attention to this than I have. But and Lance, again, I want to thank you for staying on top of it. Um, even when you thought people were turning on you as a result of which, you know, I just want to say something really quick. I mean, and I know these are supposed to be fun and lighthearted, and I have so much fun doing them, and I know you guys, by and large, have fun joining me. But again, I hate being the heavy. So again, I think what I'm trying to say is I don't want to let a couple of negative episodes tarnish this fun community of YouTube that we've put together. And I want to thank you guys for your vigilance and keeping it all fun and happy and light. And now we can kind of move forward, and hopefully the anime episode is behind us and I'll get off the soapbox. Thank you. Uh, Zuplik says they were all like shake, 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 shake your body for me. Music Girl says, "Oh, if he's not a regular and being rude, I say block him." Gary Carpenter says, "Z in the Navy." Mandy Lee says, "Oh, I didn't even know what gay was." The Village People. Liz Chafin says, "I'm sorry, guys, to bring this chat down. I will leave." No, 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 Lance, do not leave. No, do not leave. As far as I've been able to put together, you have been the hero of tonight's chat. I was just trying to keep you out of, well, having to be the heavy, because you know I hate it. As it turns out, everyone is behind you. I'm always behind you. Sorry if you thought we weren't behind you. Play on. Tug says, my wife has a ricotta allergy, so I use ricotta cheese in my lasagna and things like that. I'm assuming means I don't use. It took me a few years to get used to it, but it works. Number one dude says, we are still Team Thrash. A lot of people saying, no, don't go. Lance, yeah, Lance, don't leave. Please, stay. Stay. Tom says, I love almond milk. Emily Miller says, I'm happy and gay. Excellent. Daryl says, they can't blame me. I've been watching artists chat since he came on. Dilly Den says, I gave him 3 chances to stop the language and he didn't, so I blocked the guy. Uncle Judy says, it still is Gary. I'm proud to be happy. Gay pride all the way. Lance Chapin says, are you guys sure about that? Never been so sure. Lance, I want to thank you for your vigilance. And not only that, but a lot of people were, for a while, were siding with this anime person. And again, I was just unsure because I wasn't seeing what he was saying. But a lot of people did and were like, it would have seemed that they were siding with him. So I could understand, you're like, here you are trying to like be the champion of the channel, my Sir Lancelot, and not being appreciated. So no, we are absolutely sure you are here to stay. And again, I was just trying to mediate the moderate, you might say. But as it turned out, you were 100% right. So please stay, rejoice, and let's everyone be happy. Bobby Renee says, "Yay, Daily Dan." Um, Tug says, "Lance, come back." You see, and everyone. Tom says, "Lance, stay." Zublik says, "Yay, Lance." Number one dude says, "No doubt about it." Retro Nerd Girl says, "Lance, Chafin, you're awesome." John H says, "Stay, Lance." Do you want more testimonials? Lance, you are the man. Um, and Daily Jen says, "Not on you, Lance. It's on me. I blocked him." So yeah, so you're off the hook. Emily says, "I didn't see what he was saying, but I really wasn't paying attention." Well, and again, that's the irony in all this. Lance was so on top of it, blocking him. I didn't see what he was actually saying. So it was the good news. He was nipping it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. But again, a lot of us couldn't tell what was going on. Um, I can just see Lynn saying, "Should I just let him keep printing it?" Anyway, you guys are awesome. And Lynn's like, "Okay, thank you guys. You are all our rock stars to me." Moving forward, Tug says, "You're being a mod, man. That's not always an easy job. Tell you know. I think you guys have it tougher than me. All I do is sit here and tell silly stories and pretend I'm above it all." Uh, Gary Cameron says, "Remember what Batman said, Shane? Shame on you." Oh, Batman said something too? I saw a couple things, but I didn't. Well, oh, John Doe says yogurt, yogurt, yogurt. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad that Batman said. Did anyone have to block a comment from Batman too? Lance Chairman says, "I'm the botonator." It sounds like a really good sandwich from Wendy's. Benjamin said, "Oh, he said F you quite a bit." Oh, yeah, that's not cool. But I can't figure out why Anime would want to, one, spam the channel, and two, think you guys would want to spam it with me. Why would you guys want to spam a channel you like? Unless you don't like me. I'm kidding. Of course you like me. Where was I? I'm sorry, I get very silly when I wrap up confrontation. Let's just see here. A lot of people patting each other in the back. That's very, very nice. Daryl says, hopefully he's gone, and hopefully no one will let him back in. I won't. Mike and Kathy. Let's get back to retro. Mike and Kathy, it's always great to see you guys. So glad you could make it. And Linda says, "Tug, it makes life more interesting." It certainly does. Zublik says, "Retrospective." Okay, retrospective to you too. Mandy Lee said, "Lance protecting us from the unknown." He certainly was. Lance Chafin says, "You guys, you're all my extended family in here. Love yo." The feeling is more than mutual, Lance. Keithy says, "Trash is fly paper for crazy Barts." I'm assuming he means bots. You're right. And I certainly am. What is it Zero Mistel says? They find me. How do they all find me? Why do they come here? Mike and Kathy says, "Love Blade Runner 2049." I did enjoy it. I love the original better, though, I must say. Um, Daily Dan says, "LOL, I'm the bot slayer. Can't we all be the bot slayer?" Emma Miller says, "That's why I'm here, Keith." Zublik says, "Personally, I hate spam. Is it beef or ham?" Yes. Gary Carpenter says, "LC, you are a long lost brother." Zublik says, "It's not even meat." No, it really isn't. Kevin Scott 76 says, "Hey Thrash, just finished rendering my students for competition." You have had a busy, busy, busy couple of months, my friend. But thank you for showing up for this after party. John Doe says, "Who was the best Batman?" Uh, all that wore the suit. Um, Tom says, "F you, Felix Unger." I'm gonna go with Adam West. I'm sorry, I loved Adam West. Liz Chafin says Adam West. Gary Carpenter says Adam West. Tug says, and he had to spam, 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 spam. Music Girl says, what do you mean checking to see if this is working? Worked for me. Mandy says, Burt Ward, lol. Ziploc says, spam is a scam. Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef? Darrell Johnson says, fried spam is good. I have tried it. It is pretty good. Dan says, mods, if you have a problem with someone, time them and report issues in chat. That's a really good idea. That is an awesome. Thank you. What Dan said. That's a really good idea. I actually remember I suggested that earlier too. From anyone, but the mod specifically. If you're noticing something, let us know. Like time them out and say, I timed them out because they said this, they did this, and then we'll have a little bit of a clearer picture. We won't have to wing it. Not that I mind winging it, but it's always nice to know what we're dealing with. When I was a bouncer, when I was a much younger man, when I was a bouncer, we'd have like little codes we'd use to the other guys and the bartenders let know what was going on. It didn't always work, but we tried. Illinois says, Tug, my blood pressure just went up from all the sodium. From the spam, 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 spam. Tug says they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. The Libyans. Should I give the movie away or I'm just gonna say it. Back to the Future. Liz Chafin says, does anybody like pineapple pizza? I learned to love it. Place I used to work at did a Hawaiian pizza, and it was ham, bacon, and pineapple, and I like 2 out of 3 of those. And you can't just pick the pineapple off; it still leaves an aftertaste. So I just ate it with the pineapple. It was an acquired taste, but yes, I have eaten it, and better than broccoli. Mike and Kathy says Back to the Future. Yes, exactly. Emily says, I do Lance, but with mushroom, not ham. Zublik says, no, Lance, pineapple and pizza is like fish and ice cream. Ew. Darrell says, pepperoni and pineapple with extra pepperoni is good. Never tried it with pineapple. I tend to just go with meat toppings anyway. John Doe says, spam is short for spiced ham made by a soldier's wife to eat in the field. I thought it was first made by Hormel back during the Civil War, but the Civil War. But of course, its origins probably started somewhere else. Emily says, I know somebody with a DeLorean. Too cool. That someplace, in some city in America, they have DeLorean cabs now, where you can kind of like ride share them. Tug says, I knew some of you would get it instantly. You never let me down. We try. Teb says, what's the one true crime story you remember that you still couldn't get over many years later? A true crime story. A true crime story. Probably the Hillside Strangler. I remember when it happened. I was a kid, but then I studied in psychology class later, and because he tried to say under hypnosis that he had multiple personality disorder and it was a crock. That one always just kind of stayed with me. Or for the World War II buffs out there, how about the Nazi gold train? I'm still wondering where that is. Or Private Schultz with the banknotes that the Germans made, that they were the English banknotes they were going to try to smuggle in to deflate the currency. Well, it's a really good question. There's a bunch of them in there. Dan is starting to give links to other channels. Thank you very much. Kevin Scott 76 says, my other favorite YouTuber, Egotastic Fun Time, is covering The Last of Us. Are you going to watch? I'd almost have to. I just saw the first episode. Love it. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I'm biting through my tongue because I think it's too early to start weighing in on stuff, but I did like the first episode. And I jumped again, so here we are. Tom says in the Philippines, ham and mango, no pineapple. No kidding. John H says I love bacon and pineapple pizza. Daryl John says I got out of the boat to look for some mango and was attacked by a tiger. Anyone get that movie reference? Oh, I'm gonna give that one away as well. Apocalypse Now. Never get out of the blanket boat. Never get out of the blanket boat. There was a blanket tiger. Never get out of the blanket boat. Emily Miller says somebody posted a pic of a DeLorean taxi. Yeah, it was on Facebook. And yeah, that looked really slick. Shannon says no to pineapple pizza. Actually, worse than Lawrence Welk. Ooh, let's not say things we can't take back. Tug says you can replicate kit for a DeLorean, but it's not the same. Never get out of the boat. Daryl Johnson says. Mike Getty says broccoli is growth. Keith E says in about 1958, 1985, 86 are used to drive by the parking lot. They had over 4,000 DeLoreans out there impound in New Jersey. So mid-late 80s, they had 4,000 DeLoreans in an impound lot in New Jersey. That's crazy. Sublick says Darrow, like the guy in Apocalypse Now, stay in the boat. Yes. Johnny says I'll have to watch Lawrence Welk while eating CB and pineapple pineapple pizza sometime. Say that 5 times fast. Daryl Johnson says bodybuilder live off boiled chicken and broccoli. I was on a diet where I ate a lot of broccoli as well, but I didn't like it. But I used to eat it. I'm starting to have to diet again very soon. Oh, we just jumped again. I might have to skip some of these. If I skip you again, by the way, please bear with me. Mandy says, Thrash, what's the best dish you can cook? I make a really, really, really amazing pasta dish with chicken, which I don't have time to go into right now, but it's probably my favorite made from scratch dish. Kevin says, really ego-tastic fun time is great on YouTube channel. I am gonna check it out, by the way, because I did love The Last of Us. Mike Kathy says I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. Shannon says you did too much, much too much. You did too much. Name the movie. Thrashpondo Pawns. You did too much, much too much. You did too much, much too much. It's ringing a bell, but I can't place it. And it's funny too because what's really bothering me is someone just said that quote, and I can't place it now. Oh, Lynn Javen says, Mindy, I make a mean pot roast with taters and carrots. Ooh, roasted in the gravy. I'm with you. I'm with you. So Blick says, mad scientist and a kid, very suspicious. You ever watch Rick and Morty? Ellen says, Tug, I haven't had alcohol in months. It wouldn't take much. I know your tolerance goes down when you don't drink routinely. Ooh, Lance Jeffrey goes on to say homemade meatloaf. Bobby Renee says, Mandy, are you in the witness protection program? Does she have a voice alterator? Oh, Mindy asks why, and Bobby Renee says, "You stole my heart." Oh, that's so cute. Gary Carver says, "Mandy, I love potatoes, green beans, beets, and onions. Everything except the beets." Tug says, "I like broccoli, but I agree asparagus and cauliflower are ale. Whoever decided cauliflower could stand in for rice and mashed potatoes needs to be strung up by the shins." I know, and they're using it. They're making a flour out of it, using it in pizza dough. Ooh. Shannon says it's from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Benicio del Toro. You did too much. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten that. I feel better now. I thought I knew it and I didn't. I do like that movie. I just don't recall the scene. Gary Carver says, "I make a mean strawberry banana pie. Sounds delicious." Zublik says, "So now everybody is making a love connection with Mandy." um, and he's like, "I'm not complaining." Tug says, "Yeah, but parenting has aged me. I'm going to have to teach him to drive soon." Ow. Oh, I just aged 10 years just thinking about it. Emily says, "Zublik, she can have them." It was like, "Well, Emily." Tom says, "They now make clothes out of cauliflower. If you get hungry, you can eat your sleeve." What? I have no trouble picturing that. uh, Music Girl says, "Gary Carpenter, I have only eaten asparagus with wrapped bacon." And we all know everything is better with bacon. I can take or leave asparagus, but again, with bacon, I'm all over it. Emily says, "Tug, if I don't hear from you, where do we send the condolence cards?" Wow. Watch says, "LOL, Music Girl." Tug says, "Dang it, I knew I should have guessed Fear and Loathing. That'll teach me to doubt myself." Danny Jayton says, "Had to change phones." Another like, "You are the man, Dan. You are the man." Gary Carver says, "Bacon is good, but not with chocolate." I bet I could make that work. Um, and Melissa's bacon and chocolate are great. Shush. Kathy and Mike and Kathy say bacon rolls. Lance Jamin says they have bacon soda. Ew. Well, it depends on what you drink it with, but yeah, ew. Tug says, "Music Girl, what that would make me? That would make me try asparagus again." Sean Ennis says, "Cauliflower is almost required for diabetics. Now I eat it and I'm not happy about it." Oh, is it better for you than, like, say, white flour? I'll buy that. Kevin says, "In Sicily, everything tasted better and stronger. Open bottles of red and white wine on every table. And with fish, we got to pick the fish they would cook from a tank." Wow, that's cool. John Dos has just got an update on the accident. The daughters of Jay Briscoe are in recovery. They can't walk yet. One had back surgery, but they'll make it. Oh, back surgery, that's tough. Oh, thanks, John. John H says, "Boston Market had Brussels sprouts with bacon for a short time, but it cost extra and had run out when I wanted to try it once." I can see that. Emily Miller jumped off the page, but I found her again. Said, "I rarely eat any pork products. Messes with the gallbladder." My wife doesn't have a gallbladder. She had hers removed years ago. So I imagine it'd be even worse for her. Uh, Music Girl says, "Chocolate covered bacon, Gary. Sounds delish to me." Yeah, I was going to say, I bet I could make that work. Emily says, "That's good to hear, John." John H says, I've never been a big fan of Brussels sprouts, but I don't think I hate them as much as Beaver Cleaver did." That's right. They did a whole episode on that. And he goes to the restaurant, and the father talks him into trying them, and then he likes them. Wow, I remember that episode. Mandy says, "Especially my specialty is chocolate cake." Tug said, "I tried bacon ice cream. I expected to be gross, but it was actually really good. Don't even know why. That's ringing a bell. I think my grandfather tried it once." Oh, and Lance says, "And ranch dressing soda. Gary Carpenter says, Thrasher, I'm allergic to dark chocolate. Yeah, a lot of people are for some reason. I found that out. Even people who aren't allergic to regular chocolate are allergic to dark chocolate. Tug says, I'm a diabetic, but I still won't touch cauliflower. John H says, Denny's used to have a bacon ice cream shake, which I also never got to try. Gary Carpenter says, ranch dressing soda, interesting. Sean Innes says, white flour, white rice, all things white basically are bad for diabetics. Oops, flour. I'm skipping down. Music Girl says, Apologetic Geek, I'll prepare the bacon wrapped asparagus for you if you prepare the Indian food for me. Oh, that's a interesting trade. Kevin says, You're making me hungry. Emily says, My wife had hers removed, but still eats regularly. Oh yeah, my wife eats regularly fine, but you mentioned the pork products are bad for the gallbladder. So would that mean if you didn't have a gallbladder, it would be even more difficult to process pork products? I'm just thinking out loud. She doesn't eat. My wife doesn't eat a lot of pork anyway. Chicken and beef. She doesn't like pork. Mike Getsy says, I think you just started a cooking channel. True story. True story. I actually was on a cooking show years ago when they still had local access TV. My boss at the Chinese restaurant I worked at was a master Chinese chef, and he was showing people how to make healthy Chinese cooking. And the problem is when chefs, and Tom, you can back me up on this, when chefs go into the zone, they tune up the world. So you'd see his hands like preparing the dish. He'd be like, okay, so you dice the chicken and you he would stop talking, but the hands would keep moving, and they needed someone who could fill the dead air. If there's one thing I excel at, it's filling dead air. So they go, bring Bob on with you. And whenever you stop talking, Bob, you just chime in, and I would tell corny jokes. I would make fun of his cooking. I'd tell silly stories about the guys at the bar. And we were doing this for laughs. And after a couple months, we get a phone call. Hi, yes, this is blah, blah, blah from the Food Network. We love your show. Send us a demo tape. And after about 15 minutes of, okay, who is this really? It really was the Food Network called us, and they had us submit a demo tape. We weren't picked up, but it was nice to see talent. Oh, Dan has given us a couple more links. One to David Crosby, and the other one to the wrestler Jay. I'm sorry, I forget his last name, but thank you. That's very much appreciated. And when Melissa is the first person who brings potato salad with raisins isn't invited to the next potluck. low sodium potato salad with raisins. And let's see. I just jumped again. I'm gonna try to. Let's Jim says, I love potato salad. So do I, just with salt and no raisins. Joe says, I roast my Brussels sprouts and my broccoli. My son loves them that way, just olive oil and Greek seasoning. I can see that. I can see that. Zublik says, the Ukraine is on fire and all we talk about are vegetables. We're talking about meat too, and chocolate. Mendeley says, no one brings raisins. Tom says, I cook at an Italian restaurant. Gonna get fat again after losing 22 pounds. Emily says, I prefer chicken and seafood. Tug says, Joe, I do roast Brussels sprouts all the time for my wife. I just use olive oil, salt, and pepper. She loves it. And I tolerate the smell of boiled feet because I love her. John Doe says they have a whole Thanksgiving meal in a bottle. Conan O'Brien, co-host, took a sip and almost barfed on set. I don't even want to know what was in said bottle. Bobby Renee says, Mandy, you raisin your son? Tug says, wait, who brought up the raisins in the potato salad? I thought we had a Geneva Convention for that. um, Music Girl says, Bobby, no, sweetie, I'm not Indian. Tug and I are friends on Facebook, and he posted a picture cooking dinner, and I was nosy and asked him what was inside the pots, and he responded, Indian food. Okay. Uh, do, 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 do. And I just jumped in here. Let me just. I'm almost caught up. I'm almost caught up. Oh, Bobby Renee says, "Music girl, I thought you were a Sundar." I'm not sure. Les David says, Mandy, I wish I could cook for you with some candlelight and soft music. Sounds good. Oh, that's sweet. Oh. Emily says, good night, friends. I'll see you all the next live stream. Find me on social media. Emily, take care. Have a good night. In fact, you know what, guys? It's after 11. So I'm starting to think that perhaps we should all think about wrapping it up. Danny's given us another link to the Unapologetic Geek, which I'm sure you will all need for when you um, join his live chat on Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Lance, I want to thank you especially. You were the hero. I want to say sorry for the drama. Um, we'll get back to having these like nice drama-free chats. I'm sure of it. But in this case, it was someone from the outside who just probably just bored and like ruining people's days. But anyway, I want to thank you guys all for being here tonight. I love doing these. Even that's why I would never begrudge Dave from taking, because Thursday was always his slot. I took it over when he stopped using it, but I would never be grudging him taking it back. But I love these so much. Any night when he actually does the primetime live chat, you always kind of make to having these little after chats. And we had like 30 people in house at peak. So anyway, I want to thank all you folks for showing up. I couldn't do this without you. And I always make the joke, well, literally, it would just be me talking to myself for 90 minutes. But no, you guys are great. I've had a lot of fun. Can't wait to do the next one. I'll see you all Sunday, and I'm sure I'll see a lot of you at the watch party for Retro Nerd Girl on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, don't forget, Ian and I will have a live stream this coming Monday, and I will have a regular primetime show this coming Tuesday. And I think that pretty much gets us up to date, at least till the middle of next week. So anyway, until then, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.